Hey, welcome to Miss Drea College Edition. I have my daughter and some of her best friends here with me today, and we're just going to get into what's that college life about. And what is something that you wish somebody would have told you before you went to college? What are some things that you have learned? What are some things that you just can take with you lifelong? I have some that are at HBCU, some that are at PWIs. And is there a difference? What's the difference? Do you wish you would have went to the other? And so, girls, let's get into this. Y'all ready?
Yes.
All right. So, first question, leaving home, going from high school to college, what is something that you wish they would have told you before you got there? Anybody?
Okay, so I'm Taija Tuggle. I go to FAMU, so Florida A&M University. Going from a small town to moving out of state, I wish somebody would have told me to keep in contact with my village that I have at home. When I went away to college, I felt like I had to do everything on my own because I was in a new state. I had to meet new friends. I had to meet new people. And it was just kind of hard to adjust for me, I guess you could say.
Oh, okay.
So I would just say making sure that you keep in touch with your village back home, because when you are away at college, that's going to be your support system.
Right. Makes sense. What is something you wish they would have told you, Ananda?
Hey everyone, I'm Ananda Parks and I go to Savannah State University. Coming from high school and being comfortable with my friends, and then going to a HBCU and I'm only knowing 2 people, I wish I was more interactive with everyone and getting to know more people.
Interactive with people at the school?
The school, yes, at college. Like making new friends, and especially with administration and faculty, to get more involved on campus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm Brianna Brown. I go to Georgia Southern, and I'll have to say I agree with both what they had to say, but my thing would say I feel like it's important to put yourself out there, especially with coming from a smaller town where everybody knows everyone. Making that big adjustment to going to a school where nobody knows you at all, it is important to put yourself out there, get involved, because that's the only way that could change, obviously.
Right.
Hey, my name is Nadira Thornton. I did attend Georgia Southern, but I currently now attend Georgia State.
Yeah.
But going to Georgia Southern, I would definitely say one thing that I wish I would have done was join more organizations and get more involved in my school. I didn't do that at first, so I hope that I can make a new transition into Georgia State. But that is one thing that I would definitely recommend is, even if you know people going into school, make sure you try to meet new people and make new connections so you can have other friends outside of people you already know.
Right, and I think what you all are saying is very important, because I went to Georgia State for undergrad and grad, and living off campus, I was like, in class, go back home. In class, go back home. If I saw you in class, hey, bye. So it is important to make those connections and build those bonds, because once you graduate, you're going to need somebody, or just, to expect to have that network, to build your network. So it's like, okay, somebody that knows somebody that can get me in this place, or I can get you in. So it's very important, and I've learned as an adult, after leaving college, that, you're as strong as your network. And building those bonds is going to be very important to get you to that next level that you want to go. So what is something that you have learned on campus that you were like, wow, I wasn't prepared for that? Or has there been anything that really just gave you that wow moment? It's like, wow, I wasn't expecting that.
I think the only wow factor that really got me was probably like the curriculum. I'm not gonna lie. Really, the curriculum took me, and I was like, maybe I don't know. I think I was expecting more so for it to be like just a continuing from high school, not like this big advancement from high school. So that's what really kind of caught me off guard a little bit.
I will say, and I think I remember telling Ananda as far when she was in high school, I was like, that's all y'all got to do.
Exactly.
Like it was almost like the bare minimum, and I hate that high school teachers don't really give you that push.
Yeah.
They just give you the bare minimum, and they're okay with that.
Yeah.
And then they're giving you these grades just to move you forward.
Yeah.
And then when you get to college, it's like,
now we look crazy.
Dang.
I would definitely have to say that high school definitely is like they're just trying to help you out to graduate, really.
yeah.
Like, it's not really giving you that education for real to prepare you for what college is giving you, because even though it's, you know, some of the same core classes as in high school, it's still way more advanced, and I mean, like, the due dates are like really precise, and there's not all the extra credit.
No late
Yeah,
work.
there's not the late work.
No redo.
You know, a lot of things don't get passed in college.
Right. The high school teacher, they just don't challenge you. And then when you get to college, you have these professors that are expecting so much from you.
Exactly.
And it's I think it's rightfully so, because they want you to be successful. They want you to go out into the world and continue to grow. And so they're preparing you for the real world.
Yeah.
Because it's a whole nother ball game, because you have to compete with people that are coming from China, from Japan, from, you know, all these different, from England, from Europe, you know, from all these different countries and continents, and their education system
It's way more
way
advanced.
advanced than what we get here. And I hate to say it, but you know, a small town education is they miss a lot. They miss a lot.
Like, a lot of stuff was just surface level. Like, we were just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
A lot of things.
You just have a
Like,
basic
you know,
knowledge.
you know, the basic foundations, and that's it.
So all four of you all came from Newton, right?
Yes.
Everybody came from Newton. So maybe I wonder if we had somebody that came from a different high school, you know, what would be their perspective, and to see if it was a difference.
I feel like for me, I always kind of did well in school, so I wouldn't say it was as hard for me in college. Like, I think certain things, like as far as like professors being strict with due dates and deadlines, I feel like that was kind of harder for me. But as far as curriculum, I don't think it was that big of a jump for me personally.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't really think it was. I feel like if anything, it was. But then again, I can't say a difference between me and Brianna and Drea is I go to a HBCU, so like curriculum at a PWI is usually harder. Well, so I've heard. Than at HBCU.
Yeah.
So I can't necessarily speak for that.
Right, and I do think it. My bad.
No, go ahead.
It do depends on your major as well, because like both of us were business majors, and I feel like with a business aspect, we grasp it quicker.
Yeah, because we do. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the sciences that got me.
Yeah, it was definitely science, honestly.
Oh yeah,
Really just
look.
The sciences is what got me, like, but I would agree with Tyja though, because I was always pretty well in school. I think what really got me in college, and this is for anybody that has to, and I know everybody has to work, but like transitioning into having to actually work and balance school and balance a life. Like, the people I was surrounded by, they didn't have to work going into college, and I was like the only one. So like my friends, they kind of had more of a leeway, and they had more free time on their belt, where I was like working, and if I wasn't working, it was school. And it was really challenging for me personally to balance out, like having to get hours in, and like having to still, you know, have responsibilities to pay for, and then still making sure that I prioritize, like, you know, doing my schoolwork, and then just having a regular life outside of that. So I would definitely say take that into consideration, like having an organized schedule and planning out what your days will consist of, because that will definitely go a long way.
Time management.
I'm glad you said that time management. And I think the one part of the wow factor is like, you don't have mama there, you don't have daddy there, you don't have grandma there to say, get up, go to class, or make sure you got this. And it's like, okay, what time is it? I can snooze a little bit. Or, you know, you don't got nobody like, if you don't get up, you miss that bus, you know, things like that. So I think that kind of, if you're not prepared for it, you can fall behind. That time management,
but I feel
ain't no joke.
I was gonna say, I feel like it is easy to fall behind with time management, especially because when you are in college, it's gonna be a lot of things, a lot of things going on, especially like I said, I go to FAMU. It's known to be a party school,
Right.
So I would say it's always events happening, but I wouldn't necessarily say I go to a party school, because I feel like at any college it's party.
It's the
I would say
it can be a
party school definitely. So it's just like when, like Nadira said, especially if you have to work. I didn't have to work my freshman year. I did hair on the side Follow my Instagram, The Pretty Girl Experience. But yeah, I did hair on the side, so I didn't have to clock in necessarily. I made my own schedule. But when you have to work, when you have class, when you're trying to balance the social life, and you're still trying to go to all these parties, because like she said, your parents aren't there. You can come in whenever you want to come in. You do not have to worry about anything, anybody bothering you or saying anything to you. So it can be overwhelming. And don't let the fun make you forget why you came. Because it's very easy to get wrapped up in the social life. I can't say, especially for me, going to a big HBCU, it's a lot of appearances. I feel like at FAMU, like, people trying to keep up with appearances and being that girl or that boy trending, because you see so many of your peers doing that. But you have to remain authentic to yourself, because when you do that, only good things will come. People can spot, you know,
the fakeness.
Yeah, definitely, from a mile away. So I would just say, be authentic to yourself and don't forget why you came. Don't let trying to keep up with everybody else distract you. Yeah,
it can definitely be a thing. Like, everybody says it and you're like, nah, not me, not me.
But it happens.
Everybody can find themselves in that little hole at one point in time where they're like, oh my gosh, I want to be able to get this, get that, get that.
Especially when you surround yourself around those type of people.
When you're around you, going into college, I think a good thing is to surround yourself with people that benefit you. Like, don't try to fit into a crowd that you know that it's not you. Like, try to always be a part of people that you know goes with your lifestyle, how you like to do things, you know.
People will gravitate towards you for you.
Exactly. You don't want to
You
pretend.
don't gotta try too hard.
Right. You don't want to pretend to be somebody and then you're pretending to be this person, and you surround yourself by people who like you for somebody that's really not even you.
Exactly.
So I would say definitely, like she said, surround yourself with people who, I like to surround myself with people who are not better than me, but like in my weak areas, they are strong.
People that you can
so that way I can look up to them and you can learn from them. Always surround yourself with people who you can learn from.
That goes with networking and making connections. Like, a lot of people, you know, going in, I feel like it's good to kind of try to make connections with older people in college, because they're, you know, they're going on to next levels and making next steps in their life. That can benefit you when you get to that point.
Definitely.
Because college is not going to guarantee you a job.
It's not.
At all.
Networking and making connections.
I was saying, connections right there
can
get you somewhere.
You know somebody that knows somebody.
You in there.
You in there.
So one question I want to ask, like, how does social media play a role in your college life? Like, is it a hindrance, or does it offer, or does it show you the glam that it's like, man, I wish I was, you know, over there doing something else, or, you know, does it take away your time because you're trying to keep up with these posts and keep up with the next thing? And
I think it depends.
I would say I feel like it depends from person to person. How are you using social media? Like, what outlet? Like,
I feel like with some people it can be very consuming in a bad way. Like, you're just trying to keep up with the trendy things, and then some people, they could be using it for business purposes and, you know, trying to put themselves out for certain things that they want to, you know, pursue for themselves. So I just feel like it depends on how you
don't get too caught up in the hype. It really just falls back to the last conversation. I mean, be yourself, honestly.
Be yourself.
That's
definitely
watching too much on Instagram, you start to get too much in the comparison. Don't do it.
Because your path is your path. Don't let nobody else's path, what you see on social media, make you feel like you have to rush yourself or get yourself into something that you're not prepared for. And I can say with social media, for me, going to FAMU, I know a lot of people who are famous on social media. And I feel like, for me, don't let people being famous on social media stop you from becoming friends with somebody. Like, if you think that that's somebody that you could connect with or be cool with, don't let that stop you. Because a lot of my friends have went viral, but I've never went viral or anything like that. But I still have those connections with those people. They're genuine people. Like, don't let social media make it seem like
they're untouchable.
Because they're not. They're not. They're people just like you.
I think it is important for you to just, like she said, like Taja said, be genuine to yourself. Stay true to yourself, and be able to be confident in yourself to reach out to those people. I think social media has allowed me to see that even the celebrities are not untouchable. Like somebody that I love to watch is Gabrielle Union, and I feel like she's so real, she's so down to earth. Now I never met her in person, so people that are around her may think differently. And like Tia Mowry, like their energy is so genuine and so down to earth. Like you could just go and talk to Taraji P. Henson, like different people, like real celebrities that they show you their oops, they show you their mistakes, and they show you that they're not perfect, that if you cut them, they gonna bleed just like you. And so it does go to, you know, knowing who you are and being confident in your heart and being able to say, hey, how you doing? How, you know, well, how you got this? Or how did you go viral? You know, what did you do to build your followers and different things like that?
Definitely. But I also feel like what you said, people are drawn to authenticity. Like people, because like so many people are trying to keep up with trends, people are trying to go viral, people are trying to do what other people are doing, it gets consuming. Like, you see what I'm saying? So when you are authentic, like those celebrities, they give you that genuine vibe. People will always support you because you give off genuine vibes. So I don't know, just like I said, stay real, stay true to yourself. Like I keep saying that, but I feel like for me, I definitely got caught up in the hype. Like when I went to FAMU, it was easy to get caught up in the hype. Like you're going out, you're doing all these different things, but it's like I really had to reevaluate, like, where do I see myself going? What path do I want to go down? And how, what am I doing that's helping me get there? And when you realize, like, you're not really doing stuff that's helping you get there, you have to redirect. So I think that's really why I'm speaking to you.
I totally agree with you, Taja. I had a moment, too, where it was just
I didn't know
not
myself.
Who I was. It wasn't me, and I had to really look back.
It'll hit you
And there's nothing wrong with that. We're 20, 19, finna be 21, however old. And it's like, you're young. You're still figuring stuff out. And I had to learn that. Give yourself patience. Give yourself grace.
Grace. Yeah.
Give yourself, like, just really be, But
because I feel like, you know, a lot of people say, you know, give yourself grace. Yeah, you want to give yourself grace, but you don't want to keep falling into that same hole. Like, oh, I failed this class, I'm okay. I failed this class, I'm okay.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely levels to it. But I'm
goals to look up to.
To reach.
One thing that one of my cousin, he's a motivational speaker or whatever you want to call it, but when he came over here and talked to another, he was like, what's your Z? What is your end game? What are you trying to achieve? If what you're doing right now is not leading you to your Z, you need to change. You need to redirect. You need to get back on that path to your Z. You know, if you want to be a business owner, if you want to be an entrepreneur, then start building yourself so you can get to that Z. Stop lollygagging. Like, give yourself a little grace, because there are some times where you just like, okay, I don't feel like doing nothing. I'm just gonna have to just chill. You know, and give yourself that time, but still continue to prioritize what is leading you to your Z.
Definitely. I feel like when I say give yourself grace, I feel like it's very easy to be hard on yourself, especially in our generation. That's more of what I mean when I say give yourself grace. Like, it's okay to not be where you want to be, because I feel like at our age, we feel like we should be having a car or a house. Like, but no, really,
that's
social media
got you.
It goes to social media. That's why I'm like, give yourself grace, because the things you see, it's not all what you think. It's not all what you think it is. Like,
it's just social media.
It literally is, because people post what they want you to see.
So what they want you to think.
Right.
Just like I saw an article where y'all may not remember 3LW with Notori and Adrian. Yeah. They used to do cribs. They rented a house to do cribs.
Like, I was telling Tom.
So it's like, that ain't their stuff. They rented
Maseratis,
houses.
All
this
stuff.
Out of town, a lot of people have these temporary holds on things.
Right.
And it'll make you think, like, I'm supposed to be doing this, I'm supposed to be, and it's like, what am I doing wrong? Why am I not there? But it's like, you're not doing anything wrong, baby. Stay on your path. you're on the right
Because
path.
it could be very overwhelming and stressful if you start putting too much on your back.
Too much
Like, I need to
pressure.
do this, I need to do that. And you just need to do what
Focus on you,
flow.
honestly.
Yeah, just flow in life.
It'll come
like,
to you.
You don't want your life to rush that quickly anyways.
And
Like,
I
enjoy it.
Oh my bad. And I saw this quote like about what you said. What's your Z? And think about your end game. The seeds that you planted 2 to 3 years ago are your trees now. So like the seeds that you're planting today in 2 to 3 years, as long as you're watering them, giving them sunlight, giving it love, they're gonna grow. Consistency is gonna grow into what you want. Like you have to do what you need. Like you have to plant your seeds today. So in 2 to 3 years, you can like have a product and you're like, wow, like I can't believe I've come this far, because the habits that you have today are gonna lead you to where you want to be in a couple years. So making sure your habits are good, making sure you're doing things like you said, just being consistent and intentional with what you're doing.
And I had to tell myself that too, because I was just like, you know, I see a certain life for myself in the future, and I had to get rid of certain things that I just knew wasn't gonna. I know personally I wasn't gonna bring into that life. You know, with the field I want to go into, the life I want to have for myself. You have to start those things now, so you can already build that habit. So it's not like once you get there, now I have to do it. Like, no, you want that to already be something. It should be a natural flow in life. It shouldn't be something that you have to force yourself to do.
Right.
And even like you said, planting the seed, we look at a seed, and I'm just going to use this as an analogy. We plant the seed and we feel like there's no work going on. It just grows. Oh, baby, it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work. That plant is doing so much work internally.
Yeah.
So that is what you need to do. You need to do internal work, and you need to do some external work as to grow yourself to get you to that next level.
So you
Because ain't
Yeah.
nothing gonna be handed to you, because if it is handed to you, you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna destroy it, and you ain't even gonna know how to know what to do with it, because you've had so many instances, or I've read instances where you had broke people that won the lottery, and guess what? Within a year they're broke again. Because they weren't prepared, they weren't ready for the advancement that they had received, or for the overflow that they had received. So it is important to continue to work, continue to build yourself, continue to nurture you, and figure out who you are. So as far as majors, what are your majors, and what are you planning to do with your major?
My major is business management, and really for my major, I want to own a hair salon, a hair school, and my own natural hair care product line. So it's just, all of those businesses is my own. So I need to know the business aspect of how the ins and outs, taxes, all that other stuff.
So what are you doing to prepare yourself for that? You're doing hair. You already
talking about
now.
Right.
My bad. So as of right now, I do own my own business. At first it was called Styles by Nanda J, and Instagram took that down, sadly. So now it's called The Exclusive Styles. So that is working my way up to get my own salon. And I am going to go to hair school once I graduate college in 2 years.
So what's your handle? What's your Instagram?
My Instagram is The Exclusive Styles with a Z at the end. And my personal Instagram is nanda.j.
Okay. So you want to have a hair school, your own salon, and
A
your
natural
own
hair
natural
care
hair care
product.
product. So are you experimenting with natural products? Like,
As of right now, no. Only because I wanted to double major, but I feel as if that will be too much on my hands to double major in chemistry to do it my own.
Gotcha.
So as of right now, no.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
Well, I think it's important to know know your boundaries, and then, but still, like everybody's, set those goals so that you can prepare yourself for the next level. And then, get you a mentor. Start following people that are doing what you want to get to do.
Right.
Because there are a lot of people. Atlanta is the big place, for natural hair, for bringing out those new styles. The culture is just so real and raw and vivid, and everybody trying to bite off it.
Definitely.
So, go ahead and build, start to build your brand, and then, just see how your seeds continue to grow and flourish until your own.
Oh, right.
So what about you?
All right.
What's
I
your
just
major?
experienced a major change. I had to have a
Oh,
moment
okay.
with myself. and I decided that what's for me is going to be multimedia journalism.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And where I want to go with that, big plans speak into existence. I have plans to work with magazine companies and write for them and be the photographer for them, honestly.
Nice.
And
Okay.
hopefully I can work with bigger names being a photographer.
Gotcha. So what have you been doing to nourish that and to grow yourself?
Honestly, really what I've been doing is like getting more into like media, because I learned that the whole multimedia journalism thing is more so of building a representation of yourself, because you are your brand as a journalism major. It's you that people have to trust. So really just really building my portfolio, my social presence, I guess.
Gotcha.
And as far as school goes, really just involving myself with like the media group, anything that I can really get my hands on to get that experience.
Right. So what's your social media handle?
Brianna Janelle, JHEANELLE. Brianna, I mean, BRIANNA.
All right, so follow her.
Yes.
So what about your photography? Have you been doing like some pop-ups? Have you been offering like some free sessions or things like that? Because I can be your model.
I love it. I love it. So the thing with me, honestly, it was like, I knew it was something I always wanted to do, but I was just always this person that was just so indecisive. So I was like, you know what, before I make any big jumps and I start something and I don't finish it, let me see if this is something that stays on my mind constantly. And it's been years. It's been years on my face. So clearly this is something I want to do. So now it's like, I feel like now's the time where I have to invest.
Okay, so let me go ahead and book my next session.
I'll be here.
Yes.
I'll be here.
All right, so what about you? What's your major and what are you going into?
So my major is speech pathology. I do want to be a speech therapist for children. I also want to work with ASL, so I am getting certified to learn ASL starting next school year. I'm so excited.
Nice.
Yes. So yeah, that's really what I want to do. I do hope that I can own my own practice eventually, but I do probably want to start off in like the medical field with it, because you can work in school systems.
Yep, that's what I was about to say.
With it as well. But I think I want to do more so like healthcare. It's been kind of hard to find a mentor right now due to like COVID, and they have a lot of restrictions with that just because it is working with healthcare, and then like just working with children, you know, parents aren't there. So it's been a little hard, but I'm still trying to figure out like, you know, where I can go to mentor and stuff. And I also have a little side business, making cupcakes. I just started, but it's been going really good.
Yes.
So I hope that can be a side hustle for me too, because I've always actually baked for a long time. I just never made it something. I never thought that I could do it as a business, but things that you're very, very passionate about, even if you don't think you can do it, you know, just go back into it and find your inner passions and make it something, because you always want to do things that you love in life. You don't ever want to just force yourself into a career if you don't like it for real. So,
right. And so what's your social media?
My social media is _Eridan. That's my personal, and then my cupcake social media is Sprinkle Layers.
Yes. So and the crazy thing is like I know some people that know some people for with journalism and with the ASL and with the bakery. So yeah, and hair salon. So yeah, we got some folks to put you in connections with. And so what about you? What's your major?
So currently my major was business administration, but in the fall I will be transferring to Florida State University, where I will be a real estate major with a focus in entrepreneurship. So yeah, that's my major.
Okay. So what made you change to get into real estate?
So growing up, my parents owned like several properties. They would rent them out and things like that. And it's something I've always been interested in, kind of like Brianna said. It's something I've always been interested in, but I didn't know that that's something I wanted to do. So like I've changed my major. It's okay to change your major. I changed my major. I went from business administration to business administration with a focus in marketing, and now I'm doing real estate. So, but all those things, they're all together. I was gonna say, so sometimes it takes switching your major to find out what you really want to do. So that's kind of what made me change, and I'm just really excited.
Have a couple of realtors that we can get you connected with.
I know somebody too that's really.
Yeah, I was gonna say I already have a mentor, really but I'm looking for several mentors. I want to be able to connect with different people and learn.
All around the world.
Yeah.
So where's your mentor located?
In Atlanta. So he is a realtor for Keller Williams North Atlanta, and he also has his license for Florida. So, and that's what I plan to do as well. Have a dual license in Florida and in Georgia.
Yes, that's good.
So if you could go back, let's see, we'll go back to middle school because middle school is that like kind of.
Oh wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Let me get my handles. So my Instagram is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's
What's
okay.
your IG? I'm sorry. What's your IG?
It's Tyja T, so TYJAH.T, and then of course my hair page is The Pretty Girl Experience, no E, just the X.
Okay. Yes. All right. So yes, y'all follow these lovely ladies and get connected with them, so they could continue to grow and flourish. So I have one quick question: if you could go back to, like I say, middle school, and tell your middle school self something, what would you tell them? What would you tell you? Whether it's something spiritual, something, nurturing, just something that you knew you needed somebody to say to you at that time. So anybody could start.
I think I would have told my middle school self, don't give up, because that's when I actually did start really baking. I stopped because I had like one little mistake, and I just was like, I don't think I could do this. But even just not with that, but just with a lot of things, like I really feel like I start things and then I stopped it. And I just feel like that's really something I would have told myself, like, don't give up on yourself. Like, keep going with whatever you started, because it can benefit you in the long run.
Right.
Middle school.
I was gonna say, I'll go. Something that I would tell my middle school self is, you were that girl.
Period.
You are everything that you want to be. There's a light at the end of the tunnel, and whatever you put your mind to, you can do it.
Right.
I feel like in middle school, I always been confident to others, but within myself, I really was not that confident. So I feel like just be confident in really who you are. Don't let anybody steer you from what you want to do or discourage you.
Yeah.
And I
I
think,
agree with that.
yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's one main thing that I would tell my middle school self is just be who you are, be authentic to yourself, and don't let nobody stop you from anything that you want to do.
Right.
I think bouncing back off of Drea, just keep pushing. Like I did so many sports and quit. And I feel as if like in high school I would have done cheer, I would have done basketball and volleyball, and anything that I feel as is a struggle in a sport, I tend to quit. Or not even just in a sport or anything like in life. I just, once it gets really hard, I'm just like, I can't do this no more.
Yeah.
So I'll just say never give up.
Yeah.
I think what I would tell middle school Bree is honestly, God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. Because I think in that moment, that was like a real big eye opener for me in middle school. Just have faith, honestly. You're gonna get through it. You're gonna be fine.
Wow.
You are fine. You're fine.
Now I love Grownish, and I see what's going on these college campuses. So what is yeah.
What? Everybody
Based on some of them
What you
episodes. Yeah. Like, Zoe, and that's her name? The main girl.
I don't watch Grown.
Well, like her first semester, she was like popping mollies, popping pills, like every time you turn around. And so, like, what is that aspect? Like, did y'all go to college and was like, oh, it's free for all. I can smoke all the weed I want to. I can pop all the mollies I want. I can drink. Like, what is it like no holds barred, or is there any type of boundaries that you all have?
I mean, that depends on what you do with that freedom, honestly. But
I feel like that also depends on how you were raised.
Yeah, how you
If you were raised
raised
in a shelter, I was gonna say, if you were raised in a shelter home, I feel like a lot of people who were raised sheltered get to college and they go crazy. I know people for a fact was sheltered in high school. I seen them in college, and I'm like, yo, like, you need to bring it back in. Like, you don't took it too far. So I feel like that's.
Yeah, I would say I can't, relate to the popping pills.
Right.
That's the X for me.
Get that one there.
Let's clarify that already.
This is that ibuprofen. We not doing pills now.
I feel like with my parents being a little more strict, I didn't wild out because I saw people that wild out in college. So I still had to balance my freshman year with partying and smoking and still getting my grades and stuff. So
I think it's all an experience.
It's
I mean, of course you're
because
curious.
When it comes to like smoking, for me, I didn't do any of that in high school. I didn't do that at all. Like me doing that was an experience with college. Like I tied that into a college experience for me. Everybody's different. Some people could have done it more before in high school, and I don't judge anybody. But for me, it was just something that I experienced in college, and I'm definitely not gonna say I OD with it or anything. Drinking, I definitely think is something that everybody experiences at least once, and I feel like with drinking especially, you have to know your limit and know who you are.
Yeah,
really know
who
to set boundaries.
you around
Surround
yourself
yourself
with
with
people
that
that you trust.
Like drinking is something I would definitely say is like
be around people.
it can be
that's going to
crazy.
protect you because
Yeah.
it can get wild, and if you don't know your limits, you will be
You're
like
real
until the
vulnerable.
next morning comes, you will not be able to control yourself. So therefore, you need to make sure you're around people who are gonna make sure you're not doing anything crazy. Make sure you're not leaving with nobody.
Take
Just
care of you.
taking care, honestly, literally taking care of you.
And I know most colleges do like a little alcohol seminar. I don't know if they did that with y'all schools, but
I know which
they
facility.
Well, with our school, they did a lot of like it was like forced, like we had to watch it. And if your
What?
school does it, I would definitely say watch it because it definitely did educate you on certain things that people would not expect.
That you didn't
them to
know.
say,
Yeah,
because
like,
it
it may
even-
seem ridiculous at first.
Yeah, I thought it was a crazy girl idea.
I feel
really
like
did. But it really did educate you on like just certain
Safety.
things, like it even gave real life examples of like what could possibly happen if you did too much drinking, and not even just drinking like with drugs. Like drugs can get laced too. You might think it's just weed, you can't OD off it. Somebody can lace that too. So you might just be careful with everything that you try.
I feel like my school definitely should have did it because living on campus, you saw the ambulance come in there a few times and taking somebody on a stressor, passed out, overdose. Like it just, So I would say they definitely need to do that more often at school.
Right. And I feel like just me going through Georgia State, and because I didn't live on campus, but I was able to drink when I was hanging out with my friends or whatever. And sometimes I feel like some people do the extra and it's fake. Like, oh yeah, I'm drinking and I'm drunk, and you know what I'm saying? And you're just trying to do overload, and it's like you ain't took but a sip. And I know everybody's tolerance is different.
Sometimes people be cow.
Because I'm just like, okay, and I know it might be in my blood because like my dad and his whole family, like they turn it up. And so when I was in college, like I know I used to throw them back, but I always
Knew what was going on.
That's
how I am too, and I think
I may kind of wobble a little bit.
You heard her.
I may kind of wobble a little bit, but I knew that you was you, and that you was you, and I was going to go home with you.
Be careful. Like, make sure you know your limit. Do not, even
Lay
if
low.
you think they're your friends, do not be getting too drunk with them.
Yeah.
Don't be trying too
Don't
many
grab
drugs with
everybody
them.
blunt.
Don't, definitely, like,
You ain't see it rolled. Don't smoke.
literally, like, just,
If you that cup,
If you saw it roll, don't smoke it. But I mean, even to that aspect, like you think you know what's in there, you don't know what them folks in there.
True,
Sprinkle
and
all
I
up
actually-
in
You
there.
still, it's all risk that you're taking.
any type of drug you take, whether it be smoking, drinking, popping pills, shooting up, sniffing up, whatever your choice is, it's always a consequence to that that you just don't know until you do it.
Like I said, I went to Georgia State, PWI, and it's a huge campus. And I feel like I became a well-rounded person because we took classes that were not just focused on our on our major, but we took classes that kind of made us understand people from different levels. I had a criminal justice major, and I understood psychology, different classes that we had to take, understanding the mind and how somebody thinks. We had to take a lot of juvenile classes, like understanding like the children and the process of the legal system. I had to take some law classes because my goal was to go to law school. And so I had professors that were willing to teach us not just the basics, because Georgia State is a research school. So the professors were still working in their field, bringing us not yesterday's news, but bringing us today's news, bringing us today's information, and allowing us to see what's actually happened. Like one of my professors was a judge, and he was, just awesome, telling us like what's really going on in court. So what is the difference, or what are some pros and cons that you see from a HBCU, from a PWI? And another thing I felt like with Georgia State, I knew what my financial aid was. I knew that like a month in advance. I knew what my refund was gonna be. I knew what my balance was gonna be. I knew what books I needed to order. My first day of class, I got my syllabus. I knew when all my tests were. I knew what my midterm was. I knew when my final was. I knew if I could miss some classes. I knew how many classes I could miss. Like, the professors were really, really organized on making sure we knew and had what we had, when we needed it. So I can't say for HBCU because I didn't go to HBCU, but I can, see from my daughter's experience that those things were different. So what are some, one con I would say was that I did not build that connection. I didn't see that, and it could have been just me because I didn't live on campus. I didn't build those bonds with different students. So I didn't have that family feel. I was just like, in school, go home. So what are some pros and cons that you feel like you got from the HBCU?
I feel like for me, like FAMU is known for the family. That's what like people say. I can say as long as you're putting yourself out there, but you have to put yourself out there.
Right.
You have to put yourself out there because it is a larger HBCU. So if you're not putting yourself out there, you will definitely get lost. You will definitely feel like you're not a part of any type of family or anything like that. But if you put yourself out there, it'll be a bunch of people there with open arms to accept you. Wow. I can say I loved how, like, with my professors, they were some of them, I had some that wasn't as nice, but most of them were very nice, and most of them were actually organized. I didn't really have problems with not knowing my finals would be or when my tests would be or anything like that. But financial aid, a con. Financial aid, I would get my financial aid check. I would just be happy when it popped up in my account months later, like literally. And I can say a thing is, like, it was a time where I could not afford to pay for my books and my financial aid hadn't came through, and my teachers were just like, well, we're going to give you another week. But it wasn't my fault that my financial aid had came through. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's, and you enroll in school in August. We start school probably like August 23rd. You probably will not get your refund check until October. Yes. And that's
good.
That's good. I was gonna say, because I know some people who got theirs in November.
No, the next semester.
So and I can't.
Yes. So your classes were paid for. You just didn't get the refund to go buy your books.
So yeah, your classes will be paid for, but like as far as technically your balance will still be on there, but you knew your classes were paid for. But as far as your books, no. Your what else?
I think that was really
I guess as far as your books, but for me, like my financial aid, I needed my financial aid, like especially when I stayed off campus. Like my sophomore year, I stayed in an apartment, so I was using my refund check to pay for my housing. So it's like, how am I gonna pay my rent? I ain't got no job. Like I didn't have a job. Like I was doing hair, of course, but it's like, if I wouldn't have saved my money, I would have been out of luck. Like honestly, like I would have not been in those situations. Like those students who did not know what they were gonna do. Another pro I would say is I just feel like the love is there. At an HBCU, the love is there, and they're going to make sure, like, if you want something done, they're going to try to help you. But I just feel like, for me personally, I felt like I was paying too much money to have to continually put myself out there as much as I did. I feel like more resources should have been presented to me.
More handed, right.
More, like, yeah, and I hate to say handed, but it's like when you're paying about $35,000 a year to go to a school, something needs to be handed.
I went to a PWI, so I'm just basing my experience off of Georgia Southern. I would definitely say for a pro for the PWIs is they are very organized when it comes to financial aid, and like everything is really set before you get there. Like everything was pretty organized. I do think it depends on what school you go to, because bigger, or I shouldn't say bigger, but larger schools do kind of tend to take more time just because of the amount of students they have to consider. A con for the PWIs, I would definitely say something I see from the HBCUs that would definitely make me want to consider going, but my major is not held at a lot of HBCUs, unfortunately. But I do like the fact that they do try to build more of a family atmosphere. I feel like they consider not just, no offense PWIs, but I feel like they consider the white community more than they consider all the other minor, races. Like they don't consider the blacks, the Asians, the Hispanics. They don't consider what we would like to do as much. Like they're, they do things that target that white audience.
Right.
That's just it, plain and simple. So I do like the fact that the HBCU atmosphere does build, like, you know, let minorities know that, like, you can do it too. Like, it's not just the white people that get up there. So I would definitely say that that would be my con for PWIs.
All right, I too am speaking for Georgia Southern only, but I would say a pro, if we're comparing it to an HBCU, I think it'll just come down to the diversity. Honestly, I mean, you will see different people. You will see people that do not look like you, obviously, at a PWI. No more to say with that part. But a con, I will say, is the inclusivity can be a little rocky sometimes. Like, not seeing people that look like you can be a little intimidating sometimes. And you do have to, like, go and dig further into the school, because trust me, there will be some organizations that are catered to Black students for that specific reason, but you do have to apply yourself and really look at a school and try to find your community.
I would say definitely going to a small HBCU, having that family feel environment helps you build a lot of confidence, helps you getting out there and networking, helps you just having your college experience much better. A con, I would say housing. Housing at Savannah State University is terrible.
Yeah.
I will say, and a lot of HBCUs like Howard, their housing is,
Even FAMU this year, their housing is not
terrible. Yeah, so that's one thing I will say. HBCUs need to work better at getting
and not accepting all these students that you don't have nowhere to put.
And
you're tearing down. Speaking for FAMU, you're tearing down a lot of residence halls.
And and the transfer rate is not only gonna go.
The quality of them is horrible.
Can't
Like,
say that.
how many times you had mold in your
like Savannah State.
And
like they will never fix anything quick enough.
they just covering up. Just covering up. And I think the problem with Savannah State is that because it's on that water, and so that moisture is coming in and it creates that mold and stuff in there. And they're not, I guess the filtration system is not as good as it should be.
And it does rain often. And where I stayed at last semester, it flooded all the time. So your cars was flooded. When you walked up to your house, it was flooded. So I would imagine like all of our houses is filled with mold. But they are tearing it down. They are redoing it. So
rebuilding everything.
let's hope next semester is something better than last.
Right. Well, ladies, I thank you all so much for joining me and providing your college experience. I hope that you all learned something. I hope that you all could share this with your the youth that are coming up and that they could get something out of it. If you all have questions or anything, you can always hit me up at The Real Miss Dre on Instagram. Please continue to follow Miss Dre on YouTube, and I will see y'all next time. Smooches.
Bye.
Bye.